Is your physical or mental health not quite right and you just can't put your finger on why? Are you struggling and something critical feels compromised or broken, but you're not sure what that is? Today, I want to share a story about how neglecting the things we don't see could undermine our feelings of being strong, being healthy, and of course, being super pumped. Welcome to the Super Pumped Life podcast. I am your host, Ben Walters, and I am coming to you from a bedroom. And some of you are probably saying, why in the world is this crazy guy in a bedroom? Guess what? I am about to tell you. So this bed that I'm standing next to looks fantastic. It has this fancy custom, I guess you call it a quilt or a crochet with all kinds of flowers and vines. And it really is beautiful. And then there's a couple of nice throw blankets and a unicorn, and it looks like a handmade, I guess, rooster from my daughter. So all these beautiful things. And 5 pillows with matching pillowcases. So on the surface, this looks fantastic, right? Everybody would want to be in this bed. But what if I told you this bed isn't going to be great? All this promise that you see on the surface is actually not what it seems. So I want to tell you a story. A couple weeks ago, or actually last week, my daughter called me off at graduate school, and she has been complaining about how her back's hurting and she isn't sleeping well. And a lot of that for me, I've just thought, I know you're in your toughest year of graduate school. Sometimes our mental health and our physical health, they tie together, and you're just in a grind right now. You just got to suck it up and power through. But on this particular day, when she called me, she was holding up she actually FaceTimed me, not called. And she was holding up this broken board. And I'm like, okay, you're holding a broken board. I don't know, did you join karate class? Or I thought, should I be celebrating the broken board? Or was there a bigger problem? And I'm thinking, what kind of board is that? She quickly said, this is the board under my bed. And then she held up another one and she's like, both these are broken. And then she panned over with her phone and she showed me that the other two were bowed way down. And she said, all of a sudden it hit me why my back is hurting, why I'm not sleeping. She said, my bed wasn't giving me proper support. She went on to say, I really need you to fix this because I got a big test Monday, a huge week. I can't keep not sleeping. All of a sudden, I kicked into high gear as her dad. This is the kind of call you live for as a dad, to be needed by your adult children. We kind of go out to pasture after a while, but when they need you, boy, you want to kick it into gear. So my brother and I, we cut up some boards, headed over to Columbus, and it was cool because instead of a really skinny board, we got these really big, super over-engineered boards, and we decided we're going to fix that bed. It's exactly what we did. We went over there, and what we found was this bed that she had it was a great bed. It was really cool. And I guess she got it thrifting or somewhere. But somewhere along the way, these particular boards that had broken are called aftermarket boards. They are not the original boards that go with the bed. They weren't quite designed as well as the original stuff. I was thinking about that in our lives as we think about the beds we make and the support we need to uphold us and make us healthy and happy. Most of us, we come out of the womb with our factory support, and that's our parents, right? And they are responsible for everything of supporting us in those initial years of life. But over time, that factory support from our parents can go away. It can break if maybe we had a rift over politics or sexual orientation or any number of things parents and children can have rifts over. Or in my case, my mom died about 1.5 years ago. That lifeline of factory support that I had from the day I was born is no longer there. Then you begin to think, okay, what are my aftermarket options? How can I gain that support? What it made me realize was that the support we're born with often weakens over time. We have got to fill that need. We have got to figure out how to build that support system back up. So the first question I want you to answer, if you want a super pumped life, is how strong is your support system? You can make everything look really cool on social media and to the rest of the world, but if that stuff is all just facade and the support below you isn't holding up, you're going to be hurting. Your back is going to hurt. You're not going to be sleeping well. You're going to struggle through life, right? So ask yourself, how strong is my support system? Then the second question is is that support system strong enough for my current needs? Because our need for support ebbs and flows over the course of our life. I'll give you an example. This particular bed, if it's just my daughter and she's in it, probably sufficient, right? Just simple things. But if she has 3 big German shepherds and our rescue dog all in the bed and they're jumping around and having a grand old high energy good time, guess what? Probably not sufficient. That's when that support system breaks. And it's the same thing in a more real sense in her life. The support she had maybe in undergrad or as a high school student that was sufficient. Now that she's in graduate school in a really difficult year, that support system needs to be stronger. It needs to lift her up even more. I also want to say that sometimes those around us who we might think are going to be sources of support, if they're in the same soup we are, it's hard for them to both keep themselves and their own heads above water and support you. And when I think of my daughter, in her situation, she has great roommates. They are best friends and they love hanging out together. But the reality is they are all up to their ears in a really challenging program. They can't really support one another. They can commiserate, but they each need to seek that support from somewhere else. So think about, is your support good enough for your present needs? And then the third thing I want you to think about, because support rolls in seasons. There are seasons in my own life where I've needed a lot of support, but I'm in a season now where I'm in a position both with time and money and just emotionally that maybe I can give more support than I need to be given. One of the things I was thinking about was, okay, my brother and I reacted quickly to support my daughter when her support system broke, right? We jumped into action. We drove to Columbus. We cut the boards. We fixed the bed. That thing is over-engineered. She could run a vac truck over that thing, and it's going to be fantastic. And that's great, right? And many of us are good at that. But do you know what the SuperPumped Life does? The SuperPumped Life proactively seeks out, if you're in a season where you are able to give more than you need, seek out people who need support. Because so many people are hurting right now. They put up the beautiful facade and they've got all the matching things that look fantastic, but deep down they're hurting. How can we support them? I think about people in our church who maybe need support, or in our neighborhood, or that coworker who's just struggling with a lot of things, right? How can we support them? And here's the cool thing. We don't do that because we're seeking something back. We don't do that because we're seeking anything in return. But if you've ever given in a meaningful way to others, you know what I'm talking about. It comes back to you 100-fold. The feelings you have and the goodwill and just the joy that it brings you. The joy my brother and I had driving back from Columbus, like high-fiving, getting some QT big drinks on the way home, knowing we fixed that and we supported my daughter, that feeling is invaluable. So as you think about your super pumped life, just 3 quick questions to ask yourself every day. How strong is my support system? Is it sufficient for my current needs? And if it's not, where can I get that additional support? And then if you happen to be in a season where you've got everything going on, how can you help fix the broken support systems of others? But also, how can you proactively seek out others to support them? Thank you for joining me today. I am so glad you were here. I want you to make your beds really nice every day. That's an important thing. But every once in a while, pull that mattress up when you flip it and make sure those support slats are strong and sturdy. Thanks for joining me today on the Super Pumped Life podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, I have 2 really quick next steps for you. First, subscribe or follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube so you don't miss future shows. And second, jump on over to superpumped.com where there are all kinds of great tips and tools for you to launch your super pumped life. Keep well, and I'll see you next time.